Interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Come on in. But first off, if this is your lunch break, please make sure that you have something to eat as you watch this. But also, hey, if you're like me, who sometimes may skip lunch because you're not hungry, but you're just trying to woo-saw and decompress, how you doing? You have made it. This is your moment to woo-saw. Maybe listen to something new, another voice outside of your workspace. So if you are a college student, a nurse, doctor, construction worker, entrepreneur, beauty salon owner, social worker, whatever your industry is, welcome. Welcome, because today we're going to be tackling the workplace. You're like, what? Girl, I just left it. I just left it for 15 to 30 minutes, or depending if you have an hour lunch.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Probably wondering, why are we talking about the workplace? Because keep in mind, the overall purpose of this channel, under the overall goal as part of the social minister, is tackling social issues and also finding divine ways, as well as incorporating divine teachings to how you're able to maneuver all aspects of that. But we're here in this together. That's it. As long as we focus on that, you can make it. And stay in prayer and meditation if that's what you're into. So today, as we begin our workplace conduct series, please know that you're probably wondering, workplace conduct, who's in trouble?
Be fine, don't worry.
No one. But this is an experience to ensure that you continue to rise and you consistently and continue to stay out of the red zone, especially in your workplaces. Because in every industry, I know that for me, will I share the company that I work for? No. I'm going to tell you why. Because you're probably customers of that company. And if you call in, I don't want you asking for me. But hey, nonetheless, but I work as a supervisor in a department that primarily handles business. And I would honestly say that when it comes to handling business-related issues, I've grown as an individual in terms of understanding the overall scope of how business operates. And I would honestly say that it's not an experience that I take lightly. So keep in mind, no matter what you're learning on your job or whatever you're experiencing on that level, definitely do not take that lightly, because you will actually find that there's a lot of opportunities for you to take that knowledge, encapsulate it, and incorporate that in everything that you do. And that also goes back, and this also starts with the overall goal of this series. The goal is to encourage professionalism. Hey, I gotta call it. There are some times when we, as individuals, can get comfortable in a workplace and forget where we are or the why in what we're doing. Keep in mind, I've been working in customer service for about 5 years. Plus 2, because I did do a stint at Walmart. I did do a stint at Ross for Less. Almost did a full stint at Target, at TJ Maxx, not Target. And I was doing some, freelance stuff here and there. So trust me, we've been in these streets, either in the physical one or the digital one. There's been a lot of experiences that I've garnered along the way, and positivity is something that I really want us to incorporate in our workspaces. You're probably like, listen, you don't know what I'm going through. I get that. But at the end of the day, this is your experience. This is your opportunity to flip any page, especially in the workplace. But also keep in mind that when it comes to positivity, that doesn't mean that you need to be bouncing off the walls and singing rainbows and unicorns. This means that, as positivity can mean many things to many people, but positivity also encapsulates joy. And it also encapsulates that level of faith in knowing that where you are right now is just temporary. If you have a goal to start your own business, if you work for a company, if you have a goal to grow yourself, even though you work for a institution, then that you got to start somewhere. And you have to start with putting yourself in a place of gratitude and positivity so that you're able to see beyond the obstacles and also develop a hunger to get to that point that you really want to get to, versus looking at it from a non-positive side and all you see is negative and no silver lining to get you up out of that negative space. So you see how perception and perspective definitely puts you in a new alignment of self-awareness. If I looked at my situation as, man, I'm never going to get a job, man, forget this, then I would have never had or been able to have the opportunities that I have now. And most importantly speaking, my posture in how my employers see me is more of admiration, but also at a young age, they see someone that has lived a life because I have. And that's something that I really want to really drive home in this series, is that in anything that you do, lead with integrity. Because that people, there's a famous Maya Angelou quote, is that people will probably never remember what you ever do for them. Hey, you could walk across the street and there's a crossing guard that's there holding the sign, keeping people away. But there's sometimes where crossing guards may hold your hand to make sure that you feel safe. So that's that feeling of safety. So people may never remember what you do, but they will remember how you made them feel. If you're that one to say good morning, meanwhile everyone else is just sitting right there, are you the one to open the door? Are you the one to, ask if someone's okay or see something that other people didn't see? That's where the integrity comes in, where you yourself are shining outside of the norm. Because we're living in a society right now where everyone is in a rhythm, everyone is doing the same thing. So when people see something different, it's refreshing. This is different. Same thing in relationships, either personal or professional. When you don't see something that's typical, you're like, this is refreshing. This is something that I can get used to. So that's precisely why workplace conduct is more than just staying within the lines of policy and staying within the lines of norms. So that's precisely why we're going to be discussing how to build a positive workspace culture, because it starts with you. Now, let's get into it. It does start with you. So even for me, I'll use myself as an example because I think the greatest example is to use yourself. Let me put myself on blast for a moment. So essentially speaking, in using yourself, in using myself in my current workplace, and this also goes back to how I was raised. I always believe in treating people with kindness, despite however your energy is, because when you have that level of social awareness, but when you also remember that hey, you're not here for them, and you're here to, you're here for your moment. Like when you know how hard it took for you to get this job, and when you have it, that's why I always tell any colleague that I know, or even my associates, because I'm a supervisor, I always say, never forget your why. Never forget that moment when you were trying to get that job. And when you have it, that hunger, that integrity, that everything is changed. Don't break character, because you never know who's going to be there to bless you. Because you can literally be that associate that's been there for 5 years or more. And they see your integrity. They see how you approach things. They see the commitment that you're pouring into something. They're like, oh, wait a minute now. Let me do a double take. Also going to remember how you made them feel. You made them feel that, yeah, I can trust this person. Yep, I can vouch for this person. Close eye that they can do what I say and get it done effortlessly. So that's why leading with kindness is crucial. teamwork. There's no I in team. Yes, there is an M-E in that. However, no, that's not the move. Because to fly a plane, you need a co-pilot, you need a stewardess, you need people to make sure that everyone behind you is doing what they're supposed to do. But you get the picture. There's a team, there's a structure. Workplace, even if that person over there or that person over there is not willing to be a team player with you, but you have that one person that's here to be a team, make a team there. Because you never know who's watching you. You don't know who is watching to see what you do versus what that other person does. My mom always told me, do not be a follower, be a leader. And last but not least, setting boundaries. Setting boundaries garners respect. If it's a schedule that you have, keep to it. But if there's a manager or a supervisor or anyone that is going over the line of what your job description is and what you're supposed to be doing, do not sacrifice your integrity, your freedom from staying out of the clink just for the sake of a job title. Set boundaries if at all necessary. Same thing with colleagues. You can be key, but also make sure that there's just still a professional work environment. And above all else, respect yourself. Because at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself, you have to live in your body, and you have to live your life. Setting boundaries is crucial. You're probably wondering, how do you set boundaries? That starts with self-respect. If you're someone who don't like people close to you when you're walking on the subway or when you're walking down the street, because you have a boundary, you know what you like from what you don't like. You can do it. You got this. So this has been your break session. 15 minutes is up. I know that this has been pretty short, but this is your 15-minute break session with Aisha. Enjoy. Get back at it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Share with who you know. And get back at it. If this is your 30-minute break, power to you. If this is your 15-minute break, woosah, stay prayed up. Stay encouraged and get back at it. You got this. Everything is temporary, but you are not. Go in with the long-term vision in mind of what you want to do. But if you're not there yet, that's okay. Give yourself the grace to figure it out. But once you figured it out, no holds barred, go for your goals.